Hello friends, my name is Smruti Vasavada and today we are going to start with the new subject Finance for HR Professionals and Compensation Management. Let us now study about the various compensation models. There are three types of compensation models: the distributive justice model, the labor market model, and the balance equity model. Let us first discuss the distributive justice model. In distributive justice model, the employees will share their contribution such as their skills, the time, the effort to get a set of outcome. In this model, an employee will derive his own input and output ratio. The employees will compare their input and output ratio to that of the employees of the other firm. Most of the employees compare the input and output ratio to that of the employees or peers in the same organization. They will feel that they are fairly paid when the input-output ratio is equivalent to that of other employees. Let us now discuss about the second type of compensation model, the labor market model. In labor market model, the wage rate is set of the occupation where the point of demand and point of supply is equal and is according to the market rate. They consider all the non-monetary factors such as organizational location, jobs content and demand. The basis of this model is that external equity is achieved. Now, what do you mean by external equity? External equity is a situation where an employee gets paid according to the going rate. Going rate is the market rate existing for a given job or for a given set of people in the market. If the pay of an employee is below the market rate, it gets difficult to get quality employees and also to retain the existing employees in the organization. And if it is above the market rate, it becomes difficult for an organization to provide competitive price as already their labor cost is high. Let us now discuss about the third type of compensation model, the balance equity model. In balance equity model, the firm has to try to establish both external and internal equity within the organization. The firm has to decide which group of employee gets paid above the market rate and which group gets paid below the market rate. The external equity is most appropriate for small firms as it is the responsibility of the key individual, or the small firms indirectly depends upon key individual totally to achieve their business goals. Whereas internal equity is most appropriate for large or well-established firms because they already have employees who stay or who plan to stay for longer time in the organization. Let us now discuss about the dimensions for compensation. There are various dimensions that influences the compensation management of an organization. The first one is pay for work and performance. Pay for work and performance considers all the short-term money that an employee receives if he is very innovative in his work or if he has completed his work before the deadline. These are all weekly, monthly or annual awards that he gets. There are various other rewards that he gets from the organization. The next one is pay for time not worked. Pay for time not worked considers all the leaves that an employee gets in the organization. The leaves are casual leave, sick leave, paternity leave, maternity leave, or a festival off, holiday off. Even if the employee is not working during this leave, he gets paid for the leave. The next one is disability income continuation. Disability income continuation means if an employee gets injured or if he gets sick during the course of work, his income will still continue. All the medical expenses or surgical expenses are to be borne by the organization. It is the responsibility of the organization to get him reimbursed for the same. The next one is deferred income. Deferred income is the income that an employee gets after his retirement. An employee is often worried about his life after retirement. The deferred income are divided into various categories such as pension plan, provident fund, insurance, etc. The next one is spouse income continuation. Spouse income continuation is a scenario where the spouse of an employee gets paid or he or she gets monthly or annual income if an employee dies during his course of work. He is often worried about maintaining the standard of living after his death. So it is the responsibility of an organization to take care of the family or to take care of the spouse of an employee. The next one is health accident and liability protection. Health accident and liability protection covers all type of insurance that is given to an employee of the organization. The organization gives various insurance policy where the employee as well as the family members, the dependents are covered in such policy. The health policy, the accident policy are some of the examples. The next one is income equivalent payment. The non-monetary benefits that an employee receives from an organization are titled under income equivalent payment. There are various perks that are in demand from the organization by the employees such as company's car, company's credit card, subsidized food, child care service, etc. Let us now discuss about the 3 P's of compensation. 3 P's of compensation are pay for the position, pay to the person, and pay for performance. Pay to the position means a pay is given to every employee on the basis of his position. The organization follows the hierarchy of the positions, the top level, middle level, and lower level. The lower level gets paid less as compared to the middle level gets paid less as compared to the top level. So it considers the position of an employee in the organization. It considers the seniority of an employee, the number of years he has spent in the organization, the skills, the work he has done. All these factors are considered for the compensation management, for pay structure, for pay raise, for job evaluation, etc. Let us understand this with an example. There is an XYZ company. In XYZ company, there are number of employees and the promotion is due for every employee. So let us take 2 employees, employee A and employee B. Employee A and B both have their promotion due in this year. So the company has to decide whom to get promoted, whom to get pay raise. Suppose if employee A has joined a year ago of employee B, so automatically employee A will get promoted in such type of model. So employee A is indirectly the senior to employee B even if their educational qualification are same. So it depends on the position where the employee is. The next one is pay to the person. Pay to the person considers the professional skills, his educational qualification, the professionalism. It is totally opposite of the going rate or the market rate which an employee gets. It is indirectly an injustice to what the other employee gets in the organization. Suppose if there is a person who has high number of skills, who is very highly qualified, or who has a very high number of years of experience, so he will get pay according to the skills, the educational qualification. The example for pay to the person is commonly the professional fees paid to the chartered accountants, to the professors, or to the medical officers, the doctors, lawyers. So these are the examples of pay to the person. pay to the person includes all the professional fees that a person gets for giving his professional services to the organization. The next one is pay for the performance. Pay for the performance does not consider any educational qualification. It does not consider the number of years spent in an organization. Neither it considers the experience or the educational qualification, the professional qualification that an employee has. It only considers one thing, that is the employee's performance. The better the performance, the better the pay. The organization continuously monitors the performance of an employee, and accordingly at the end of the year he gets promoted or he gets various awards, rewards for the same. We have heard about various awards that an employee gets. For example, the Employee of the Month Award, Star of the Month Award, Employee of the Year Award, etc. These are the examples of pay for the performance. Means it purely monitors the performance of an employee. It is obviously concerned about the educational qualification during the recruitment, but not during any promotion or pay raise. Only factor that an organization sees for the pay for performance is his skill or the performance, the way he achieves the target.